So this is the story of the closest that we've ever come to literally dying on a backpacking trip. We were in Mineral King in Sequoia National Park. This was our first ever backpacking trip out west. It was our first practice hike for the PCT, but little did we know that this was way gnarlier than anything we would experience on the PCT. Mineral King is a really remote part of Sequoia National Park. We drove back there and we had a 3-day loop planned. It was an incredibly beautiful loop. It was our first time ever in the Sierras. We had a great time, but on the 3rd day, we were coming up over the highest point of our trip, Sawtooth Peak, which was over 12,000 feet. In the last mile or so to the top, and then another mile down the other side, there is no trail at all. It's just kind of find your own way. It's all just loose rock and scree. So we come up to the top of the ridge and we see way down a couple thousand feet below us is the trail starts again, and we just have to get down there. But we don't want to just go straight down this loose gravel, rock, scree field. It just seemed really sketchy. So we decided, hey, let's try to make our own switchback and cut across the mountain instead. That sounds like a good idea, right? Wrong. So we cut across the mountain, and after maybe 20 minutes of going down diagonally, we come to a sheer 80-foot cliff in front of us, which we couldn't, you couldn't see how steep it was until you get to the ledge. And we were like freaking out. Over to the right, there's another cliff. To the left, there's another cliff. We were pretty much trapped there. There was this one gully that we were able to kind of climb down like a ladder with our packs on and everything, terrified that we were gonna slip and fall with all the loose sand and scree around. As we were going through this chute, I was probably 30 feet below Pickles, and she steps on this huge rock that's even bigger than she is, and the whole thing comes loose and flies down and goes right past me, like almost took me out right then and there. We barely get down to the bottom of the steep cliff, and now we just have another 1,000 feet or so of loose rock and scree below us. We are like just sliding down the mountain. We were stepping on these rocks that would just slide. We were riding rocks like a surfboard down the mountain. We were like part of a landslide, basically. It was pretty terrifying. So eventually we finally get down to where it starts to flatten out. And we're catching our breath at the bottom. We were seriously thought that we were done for up there at the top of that cliff. So looking up at the mountain, we saw that we totally went the wrong way and went to where it got way steeper, whereas we should have just gone straight down where we initially came out to. So yeah, that was the closest that we've ever come to literally dying on a backpacking trip.